I'm going to give us just a moment to process through this graphic. Please remember the words I said earlier. Guys, I am not a raging liberal, nor a raging conservative. I pray that you will hear what I have to say now, that you will listen and try to understand what I'm saying. Don't expect me to say what you think the caricature of whatever side you think I'm representing right now. Don't paint me as that caricature of whatever side you think I'm being. Please listen to me. Most of you actually know me. So listen to what I'm saying. I want to begin with a parable. This won't take long. Please be here with me. Hear this parable. A company used unethical practices to force a neighborhood out of their homes so that that company could use that land for their own profits. 25 years later, the company had new leadership and largely entirely new personnel. The company takes over the land, pushes people out. Then 25 years later, mostly new personnel in the company, new leadership. The new leadership of this company were all followers of Christ. They looked and they saw what happened, and they said, we want to try to make this right, because after all, we want to try to make amends. We want to ask for forgiveness or confess our sins and then try to make amends as much as we can without hurting others. So they met with the families and heard from them. Most of the members of the families had actually already forgiven the company and moved on with their lives, many of them even rebounding from the economic damage that was done to them, though some were still hurting from the financial repercussions. The leaders of the company said, "It is good that most of the families have forgiven us, but I don't think true reconciliation has happened yet. That might take a long time." This institution harmed these families deeply. Not just the parents, but those repercussions have hit the children and even grandchildren when we took away their livelihood. They said to each other, "This institution should make it right. This company hurt them, and this company should make it right. We weren't in charge of this company when it harmed these people, but we're in charge of it now. If this company is going to make things right, it's up to us. Let those who have ears to hear, hear." I'm just kidding. I'm not Jesus. I'm going to break that down a little bit. I don't have the authority to speak in parables like that and walk away. If reconciliation is going to happen in that company, then the company and the families will need to, like we've been talking about. The company and the families will need to listen to each other, understand each other so they can move forward. If they only listen with a set of rebuttals before trying to understand each other, it'll only make things worse. The burden of making things right is on the company. They did the wrong. No, they didn't. They didn't do the wrong. But the company did. And they are the company now. The burden is on the company. They will have high-cost and low-cost behaviors to make it right, including changing their internal structures to make sure they will never treat the family or any other family like that again. It's actually the Christ-like way forward. Actually, the Christ-like way forward is to die for those who are treating you with contempt and pray for their forgiveness in the meantime. As with most parables in the Bible, the point I'm making with this parable is simple and general. I'm not making any specific points about exactly how we need to move forward within the issue of racism in America. Okay? I'm not laying out specific practices that have to happen. I'm simply saying reconciliation is still at work in the area of slavery and racism. I mean, clearly, we haven't been working on true reconciliation for that long historically. Reconciliation is still at work in the area of slavery and racism, and that's not an attack against you. That's not saying that you're a racist or that you hurt anyone because of racial differences. Just like the leaders of the company, they didn't do it wrong, but they wanted to make it right between the company and those people. You as an individual may very well owe no one anything as it pertains specifically to you in the area of racism, but you're choosing to identify with the United States of America. If that country is going to do the work of reconciliation because of its past and its very recent past of racism. When I was 4, did I tell this in sermon already? When I was 4, I hurt my foot. My brother, he's a jerk. I don't remember which one it was, but regardless, the jerk slammed the gate on my foot. And you know the little pokey things at the bottom of the gate? Slammed it in my foot, 4 years old, and I'm sitting there, I'm stuck. The little pokey things are in my foot, and I'm on the ground. Am I going to die? And funny story is I'm yelling, my dad comes up, and I looked at Dad and said, am I going to die? And he said, no. So I was cool, I wasn't going to die, I still wanted to scream. Took me to the emergency room. This is 1984. And in the emergency room, there was a white waiting room and a colored waiting room. 1984. Segregation was illegal in 1954. There's been big time racism recently. And even if it just stopped in 1954, legally stopped, right? You cannot legally do this anymore. I'm just saying it's recent. If the country is going to do the work of reconciliation because of its very recent passive racism, who is it up to? Who else could it be up to? If the country is going to do its work of reconciliation, the burden of reconciliation is on the one who did the injury. It's up to us. I don't have a 12-step plan of exactly what that's going to look like, of its specific details. I'm just saying, it's up to us to reconcile high-cost, low-cost behaviors. And the church needs to lead in this, guys. We're the ones who understand forgiveness and reconciliation. We're the ones who understand laying down our rights and our lives for others. We are the ones who have been forgiven much, and so we love much. If we cannot lead in this area as we follow Christ, the one who made all of us one, if we cannot follow the one who gave us the ministry of reconciliation and lead our nation in this way, we're failing, man. And I don't want to operate out of shame and duty, but I don't know how to say that except matter-of-factly. Let us analyze our hearts, go before Christ, and see what does this nation need to do to continue the work of making it right, and what does that mean I need to do, I can do, to help make things right.